Well, in our previous class we have seen two different types of immunities. That is, one is humoral immunity and the other is known as cell-mediated immunity. Humoral immunity is also known as antibody-mediated immunity. Cell-mediated immunity, we have seen differences. After that, we saw different types of lymphocytes also. In today's topic, we will be discussing about two more different types of differences. In this year question paper, it has been asked innate immunity and acquired immunity they have asked. So, but we have seen what is innate also, we have what is acquired also, and what is the humoral immunity. Humoral immunity is the immunity which is by antibodies, mediated by antibodies in the blood, which will be transported through blood and lymph. Whereas cell-mediated immunity by means of cells, different cells, and we have seen the difference, their action also. In today's topic, we will be discussing about two more differences of two more types of immunity. In that, one is known as active immunity, other is known as passive immunity. One is active immunity, other is passive immunity. Passive immunity. As the word says here, active refers to where there is an involvement of energy. You might have studied in physics also, right? Speed, active speed or passive speed or active transport, passive transport. In biology, human physiology also you have studied transportation, right? So active is where once energy is involved, his own energy is involved. Such a process, such a phenomena is what is referred as active. Where own energy is not involved with the help of others, or it's happening on itself, such a process is what is referred as passive. So what do you mean by active immunity? The immunity that is obtained by the person, acquired by the person, right, after producing specific antibodies in his body, in his own body, in his body, by his own immune system. Yes, in the patient's body after infection, or when he come across with antigens, with pathogens, with foreign particles. Once his body is encountering with the pathogens, once the foreign particles enter into his body, antigens enter into the body, pathogens are there in his body, against those pathogens, antigens, by his own immune system in his body, specific antibodies are produced. Such immunity is what is known as active immunity. Active immunity, wherein in his own body, by his own lymphocytes, B lymphocytes, by his own immune system, by his own organs, lymphocytes, by his own cells, antibodies, specific antibodies are produced after the infection. Such immunity is what is known as active immunity. Active immunity. Then here, this type of immunity, here the antibodies are produced in some other body, in some other animal's body, or in some other human's body, or by means of artificially antibodies are produced, chemicals are produced. Those antibodies are injected to him, given to him. Like for example, in case of snake bite. When this is a snake bite, antibodies are being produced with the help of some animals like mule, right? Hybrid animals, specific hybridization, or some animals like donkey or horses. What they make here, these horse, mule or donkey, you study about the mule in the next chapter, 9th chapter, studies for animal in production, interspecific hybrid animal, or horses. What they make the snake to bite this animal. In this animal, antibodies are produced. From that animal, after 2 hours of snake bite, this animal won't die because of the huge response of this animal, huge body, and very small doses of the venom is given to them. So in their body, after 2 hours of snake bite, in his blood, antibodies are produced. From that blood, they extract the plasma. From that plasma, they obtain antibodies, and those antibodies are taken into vials, injections. So the antibodies are given to this patient, this human being. So here in this process, antibodies are produced in other animals or other human beings or from any other source. Such antibodies are injected. What happens here? Injected. So here in his body, antibodies are not produced. His own energy, his immune system is not involved. Ready-made, cut and dry, ready-made antibodies from external source is given to him, injected to him. Such immunity is what is known as passive immunity. Why passive? Because these antibodies are not produced, not formed in his body by his own immune system. They are not formed. Whereas they are injected from external source. These antibodies are extracted from other source. These antibodies are produced chemically also, or in other body, other animal body, or other human body. Such ready-made specific antibodies are injected in such a person. Because of the injecting of such antibodies in one's body, in patient's body, immunity will increase. Such immunity is what is termed as, what is referred as passive immunity. Whereas the immunity which is obtained by a person after infection, after encountering with the antigens in his own body by antibodies are produced. So such immunity is what is known as active immunity. Active immunity. I hope it's clear. Very first difference, basic difference, and as far as the difference is also concerned. Next, it takes long time. Comparatively, it takes long time to show its effect, to show the full effect, to show the full effect, right? Whereas, because here after infection, antigen infection is there, pathogens are there, they have to recognize that, they have to produce specific antibodies, and after that they have to form antigen-antibody complex. So it takes time. Comparatively, a long time is taken here. Here, immediate effect. What effect? Immediate. Why? Because we have directly injected specific antibodies in his body. As soon as specific antibodies are injected into the patient's body, immediate reactions takes place, or what we call immune response. So here the immune response is quick. What it is? Very quick. Very quick, right? In a very short span of time, you see immunity reactions are taking place, antigen-antibody complex formation takes place, immune responses are taking place, immunological reactions are taking place in his body. Whereas in case of active immunity, wherein in his body antibodies are produced, they take little bit of more time in order to recognize them and go and attack to them. So they take little bit of more time. So here, long time is taken. Time duration between the antigen-antibody reaction. Compared to passive, it takes more time to show immune response. I hope it's clear. Now, no side effects here. You don't come across any side effects. Why? Because these antibodies are produced in his own body. Where it is produced? In his own body they are produced. By his own immune system they are produced. So they are very specific. They are not foreign particles. So here no side effects are seen. What are seen? No side effects are seen. Whereas in case of passive immunity, where the antibodies are injected to his body, given to him, administered to him, you come across certain side effects. Here you see certain side effects are seen because these antibodies are also found in other body. Right? Since they are not found in his own body, here you come across certain side effects. Whereas in active immunity, you don't come across any kind of side effects at all. Why? Because these antibodies are being produced in his own body. Hence, you don't come across any type of side effects. Now, moreover, last difference. Here, the immune response or the effect is long lasting. Don't get confused with the above difference. Long lasting. What do you mean by long lasting? For example, some antigen has entered into body, specific antibodies are produced. This he will have this immunity, active immunity for a long duration of time. For example, for about 6 months, example I am telling, for about 6 months in his body, this active immunity will work against that particular antigen, That's what we will say that immune response here is a long-lasting. It will stay in his body. This immunity will stay in patient's body for a long period of time, for a long duration. Why? Because immunity is being given by his own body. Antibodies are being produced in his own body. Since the immune response will be for long lasting, will be present in the patient's body for a long duration of time, for more time, for a long period of time. Why? Because immune response is from his own body. Whereas here, immune response is short-lived. What do you mean by? For example, same infection, different person. For example, like in his body, this immunity is there for about 6 months. Here, for example I am giving for the purpose of understanding, right? For the purpose of understanding. Here, this passive immunity will be there only for about 2 months. Why? Because this immunity, these antibodies are injected into his body. As long as these antibodies are found present in his immune system or in his blood, you've come across this immunity, you find this immunity is present in his body. Once those antibodies are over, because it's not a continuous process of production of antibodies here, limited amount of antibodies are given in this system, in this type of immunity. Once those antibodies are over, you don't see the effect of that, the response of that. So here, immune response is very short-lived, for a short duration, for a less amount of time, for a short period of duration. But it will counteract on that particular antigen or pathogen. It will overcome that particular disease or disorder or infection, whatever here. Right? Whereas this immunity, you don't come across any side effects, and the immune response, immunity will be for a long period of time. Why? Because antibodies are produced in patient's body, in his own body. Since because of these reasons, this immunity will be there for a long time. Don't get confused with this point. What do you mean by this? The antibodies which are produced in patient's body take little bit of more amount of time to interact with the antigens. That's what we say here. It takes long time to show full effect, whereas it takes very short period of time. Here the immune response is quick, but this immune response will not be present in his body for long time of duration as far as passivity is concerned. Whereas in case of active immunity, you find that, you see that, you observe that immune responses are found present in the patient's body for a long period of time. I hope this is clear. Right? This is the differences between active immunity and passive immunity. Now after this topic, once we can conclude the differences between the immunity, we'll talk about
13.
Next topic what we'll move on is vaccination. The next topic is vaccination. Nowadays, this is a hot topic now, a burning issue about vaccination. Everybody is curious to know the vaccines of recent diseases, COVID, right? Corona, COVID, virus, I, infectious, D diseases. Coronavirus infectious diseases. It's like a cluster of symptoms. Right? Many symptoms are there together. That's why it is being named as COVID. That is nothing but coronavirus infectious diseases, because it affects the respiratory system majorly. It also affects your digestive system, your intestine, your stomach. That is considered as asymptomatic phase. So it shows multiple symptoms, many symptoms, various symptoms. So it can be considered like this word is not been tagged so far as a syndrome, but that's why this has been named as COVID, coronavirus infectious diseases. So you come across many diseases here, many symptoms here. Sometimes these symptoms are asymptomatic. The virus will be present in one's body, but that patient, that person don't show any prominent symptoms, but yet this virus will be there. So that's why it has been named like that. And so vaccine, everybody is worried about vaccines now. Everybody is talking about vaccines. Many media is talking about vaccines. Everybody has their mind, has in their mind, what about the vaccine, when the vaccine is going to come. So what do you mean by vaccine? Let's try to understand here. In your syllabus, you have a subtopic known as vaccine or vaccination or vaccine or vaccines. Clear? The idea of vaccination was given to the world by a physician, French physician by name Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner. He was a physician in a small village in England. Small village. He was a doctor. He was a physician. Right? He was practicing medicine. He was curing many people. So in the villages there will be a trend. Same person can treat other animals also. So that was a trend there also. He was trying to treat other animals, higher mammals, because mammalian system is same to some extent. As far as some pathogens are concerned, some antigens are concerned, all mammalian system respond in the same way, in the same pattern, because the immune system, right? Because of the immune system. Edward Jenner in 1796, few books says. Most of the books says in 1798, 1798. I am writing my own birth year rather. It is 1798. Some books says, very few books of microbiology, they say they refer this year in the year 1796, almost 300 years back, right? He has found out vaccines from the term vacca. In Latin, this word is derived from Latin word vacca. Vacca refers to cow. How this word has been derived? Because when you are treating patient, this history is very much required for you to understand the process of vaccination. It's also known as immunization, right? So now, I will start on this story. When he was treating human beings, people, they come across the smallpox disease. He observed that in this village, most of the people are infected with smallpox. See his observation. That's why observation is very much required in the science, in the biology also. He observed that some people from certain houses, specific houses, they are not infected with smallpox. He guessed what would have been the reason that from this specific house there are many patients, from that house there are no patients at all. In that house this virus is not there, this disease is not there, this symptom is not there, and then he did name them as a smallpox also. But he was finding out, he was observing, his keen observation has led to do some research, right? And because of his own observation and research, now we have vaccines for many of the diseases. So when he find out the reason why in this house there are no people who have these symptoms, like smallpox symptoms, other people are getting infected. Why they are not getting infected? Because he observed that they are all farmers, they all have cattle, cows, buffaloes, other livestock, right? So when he observed that before this disease, smallpox disease in human beings, in that same village, 2-3 months before that, the cattle got infected with one virus. That disease was known as cowpox virus. So the people who are interacting with these cows, who have constant exposure, who are rearing them, who are caring them, these animals, so they got immune. The word immune was also referred by him only. First he used that these people are immune to that. What do you mean by that? Resistant to that. Clear? So he observed that the people who are interacting with, the people who are living with cows, and in 2-3 months before, these cows had been infected with cowpox virus. They had a disease called cowpox disease. And since these people were in constant touch with these cows, with these animals, with these cattle, this virus entered into them, acted as a vaccine, and they had immune response to that, and they immune to smallpox disease. So this cowpox virus and smallpox virus are very much same, little bit of difference, mutation, like how we have coronavirus. The coronavirus which was infecting other mammals, lower mammals. Now what we have, the coronavirus is little bit mutation form, right? That is infecting higher mammals like human beings also and other animals, right? So other mammals. So like that, the people who are infected, the people who are there in their houses, cows were there, cows were infected with the cowpox virus. These animals were suffering from that. These people got that virus from these animals, and in their body, specific antibodies were produced against that virus. So their immunity was boosted up, was risen, was more, was active. They had a lot of immunity against this virus. When the second time, when the other virus infected human beings, when this virus entered into their body was able to produce specific antibodies very quickly against that. So these people who had interaction with the cows, when they infected with the cowpox virus, these people did not got infected with smallpox. This reason, this thought, this observation made him to let the basic foundation of vaccine and vaccination. So Edward Jenner was basically a doctor, right, treating human beings. He observed that from this onwards, when I get a time, or when we get more time further, I'll tell the whole story how he observed, how he voluntarily took one boy of 9-year-old and he tested this, right? He injected the cowpox postulate into his body, then he injected smallpox postulate into the pus from the patient. This boy did not show any symptoms, so he found out that, so this is vaccine. So vacca refers to cow. So from here onwards, the process of vaccination started. Now, what is vaccination? Means to say that the same pathogen. This is the trick here. This is the magic here. Magic, which has been lots of logic here. The same pathogen, which is nothing but the causal organism. In our previous diseases, we have discussed causal organism. The same pathogen which causes the disease, which causes the infection, same pathogen is taken and injected into the patient's body, injected into one's body or individual body. Once it is injected, in what form? In heat form, or this virus, for example, this virus is taken, this virus is heated up. What for? Heated up. It should loses its pathogenicity. Now, what do you mean by pathogen? Try to understand here. Pathogen. Patho refers to toxicity. Gen which generates. This pathogen has two properties. One is generating toxicity, patho. Other is known as antigen. That's why it is known as pathogen. Which the pathogen is nothing but the antigen or pathogen. Pathogen acts as antigen, which produces antibodies in human body. Patho refers to toxicity, antigenicity. Antigenicity, one more property of the pathogen. If the pathogen has, a bacteria has these two properties. One is pathogenicity, other is antigenicity. Then only it is considered as a pathogen. Clear? Now, so this pathogen property, what is known as virulence. What is known as virulence? You might have studied, right? Smooth strain or rough strain, or what we call resistant strain or sensitive strain in case of Griffin's experiment. Same concept can be applied here also. This pathogen should lose virulence. But what do you mean by that? This pathogen is heated up. This bacterial cells are heated. So they make this bacteria to lose pathogenicity, to lose the virulence. It should not cause the disease, but it should retain one of the property. What property? When this pathogen is heated and it has lost pathogenicity and injected to human body, but that pathogen should produce specific antibodies in human body. These two properties, one is known as pathogenicity, other than antigenicity. In among these two properties, if pathogenicity is there, that bacteria will enter into human body, it causes diseases. So in the process of vaccination, same pathogen is injected. How? By heat killing the pathogen or activation, losing its property, losing the chemicals. Pathogenicity is lost, virulence is lost, but it retains one property. What is the property? Antigenicity. When it is given into human body, again this antigen, specific antibodies are produced by the immune system in one's body. So this process, whole concept, whole phenomenon, what is termed as vaccination, or it is also known as immunization. What do you mean by immunization? Where by the process of vaccination, by injecting vaccines, the immunity is being boosted, immunity was being increased. So when you are so small, many type of vaccines are given to you. You all know that BCG vaccine. What is that? BCG. What is it? Bacillus calmette-guerin, right? Against right? TB it is given, right? Bacillus calmette-guerin bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. DPT vaccine is given to you. What is that? diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, all this, right? Viral, right? DPT vaccine, polio vaccine, you might be knowing, very frequently it will be given to children below 5 years of age. So polio vaccine, it is called the poliomyelitis virus. Same virus is given, but this vaccine is given orally. What do you mean orally? Through mouth. Why? Because this virus resides in the human intestine. So it has to be given orally through mouth. It has to go from mouth to stomach, from stomach to intestine. Then it works on that. So polio vaccine is given orally because in digestive system you have studied from mouth to stomach, stomach to intestine, from intestine to blood. Not like from blood to intestine. You have seen. But others, where these vaccines are injected, they are injected. What is injected here? Same bacteria, same pathogen is injected into the human body, which retains antigenicity that helps in the production of antibodies in one's body. So when this process occurs, production of antibody or entry of antigen takes place in the body. B memory cells. In the previous class we have discussed about T memory cells, T helper cells or T lymphocytes, which produce memory, which retains memory. So whenever the person is being vaccinated, whenever in the next encounter, wild encounter, when you are small children, these vaccines are given to you. When you go out and play, when you go out, when you grow up, when you grow up, when you go out, when you encounter with different atmosphere, different environment, different people, these viruses when they enter, these pathogens when they enter the body, immediately these memory cells remember them that 2 years back, 4 years back, 10 years back, this antigen had come. So they report to the specific antibodies, so that immediately antibodies are produced in the body, and this person should not get infected with the disease. Such a process is what is known as vaccination or immunization. Why immunization? It increases the immunity. So BCG vaccine, right, against TB, tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, all viral DPT, polio vaccine. Similarly, hepatitis vaccine. Similarly, typhoid vaccine. Now everybody is looking for corona vaccine, right? Corona vaccine. So vaccines are given before the occurrence of the disease in order to overcome the disease, in order to prevent the disease as a preventive measure. What measure? As a preventive measure, wherein our immunity is being boosted up, increased, our memory cells helps in the recognition. So whenever you come across second time or third time, whenever this antigens comes, immediately specific antibodies has to be produced by the body. So as a preventive measure, prophylactic measure, vaccination is given. In the vaccination process, same pathogen which causes the disease is given, but in a heat-kill way, whereas it made to lose its pathogenicity, to retain antigenicity, so that immune system should be boosted, specific antibodies should be produced. Such an idea concept was given by Edward Jenner, and from there onwards, Louis Pasteur produced many vaccines were produced. Against nowadays we have vaccines for many bacterial diseases, for viral diseases, right? So we'll continue with the same topic with a little bit of repetition of vaccination. In the next class, we'll talk about allergy and autoimmunity. I hope it's clear. Right? Subscribe to channel. Right? Do watch this class repeatedly. Make your class notes. If you have any doubts, contact me on my WhatsApp number 9591367806. Fine, and then make your own notes. Do take very good care of yourself. Keep studying. God bless you. Good luck. Take care.